Have you ever felt like you're running on a treadmill, chasing a version of yourself that seems just out of reach? You wake up, watch a motivational video, feel pumped for an hour, and then nothing. The fire fizzles out, and you're left feeling more drained than before. If that sounds familiar, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. For years, I was a motivation junkie. I thought the secret to success was to constantly hype myself up, to hustle harder, and to never, ever stop. But this endless chase didn't lead me to success. It led me to a place of complete burnout, confusion, and a painful realization. In my desperate search for motivation, I had completely lost myself. This is the story of how I broke free from the motivation trap and found something far more powerful. It all started with a simple yet dangerous belief. If I'm not feeling motivated, I'm failing. My mornings were a ritual. Before my feet even hit the floor, my phone was in my hand, scrolling through speeches from gurus telling me to seize the day and crush my goals. I'd listen to podcasts on my commute that screamed 10x your life, and my bookshelf was overflowing with titles promising the secrets to unlocking my ultimate potential. On the surface, it looked like I was the epitome of a go-getter. I was busy, always working on a new project, and constantly talking about my big dreams. I told everyone, and myself, that I was driven. But the truth? I was terrified. Terrified of stopping. Terrified of the silence. Because in the silence, a voice would whisper, "What are you even doing this for?" I was so busy chasing the feeling of motivation that I never stopped to ask if I was running in the right direction. My goals weren't really mine. They were borrowed from the people I was watching online. I wanted the lifestyle they projected, the success they flaunted. I wasn't building a life based on my own values or passions. I was trying to copy-paste someone else's. The problem with chasing motivation is that it's a feeling, and feelings are fleeting. It's like trying to run on sugar and caffeine alone. You get a huge spike of energy and then you crash, hard. My days became a roller coaster of extreme highs and crushing lows. On a motivated day, I'd work for 12 hours straight, convinced I was on the verge of a breakthrough. But the next day, I'd wake up feeling empty, exhausted, and completely uninspired. The guilt would set in immediately. I'd tell myself I was lazy, that I didn't want it enough. So what would I do? I'd double down. I'd search for an even more intense motivational video, a more demanding morning routine, a stricter schedule. I was caught in a toxic cycle. Hype, hustle, crash, and shame. Repeat. This wasn't productivity, it was self-punishment disguised as ambition. I was so focused on the how to be more productive, how to wake up earlier, how to stay motivated, that I completely ignored the why. Why did I want these things in the first place? What truly mattered to me? I had no idea. The breaking point came on a Tuesday afternoon. I was sitting at my desk, staring at a to-do list that was a mile long. I had a full day of hustle planned, but I couldn't bring myself to do a single thing. I felt hollow. I scrolled through my phone, looking for that familiar jolt of external validation, that motivational hit to get me going. I found a video of a speaker shouting at a huge crowd, "What's your excuse?" And in that moment, something in me just snapped. I wasn't inspired. I was exhausted. I closed my laptop, walked outside, and for the first time in years, I just sat in silence. No podcasts, no videos, no to-do lists. And it was terrifying. All the questions I had been running from came flooding in. Who am I without this constant hustle? What do I actually enjoy doing, not what I should be doing? It was a painful but necessary confrontation. I realized I had built my entire identity around the pursuit of success, not the actual substance of my life. I was a character in a story about ambition, but I had forgotten who the author was. That day marked the beginning of my motivation detox. It was incredibly uncomfortable. I deleted the apps, unsubscribed from the channels, and put the self-help books away. My goal was no longer to find motivation, but to find myself. I started small. Instead of asking, What's the most productive thing I can do right now? I started asking, what would feel good right now? What am I genuinely curious about? I went for walks without a destination. I picked up a paintbrush for the first time in a decade, not to start a business, but just to see what would happen. I read novels instead of business books. I started journaling, not about my goals, but about my feelings. It was a process of rediscovery, of peeling back the layers of shoulds and have-tos to find the core of who I was. And slowly, something amazing began to happen. A different kind of energy started to surface. It wasn't the frantic, anxious energy of external motivation. It was a quiet, steady, internal pull. This wasn't motivation, it was purpose. It was alignment. This is the secret I wish I had known all along. Discipline and systems are more reliable than motivation. Motivation is a fair-weather friend. It shows up when things are exciting but vanishes when they get tough or boring. Discipline, on the other hand, is what carries you through the mundane. It's the commitment you make to yourself on a day you feel inspired, and the system you build to honor that commitment on the days you don't. Instead of relying on a morning hype video, I built a simple, non-negotiable morning routine that served my well-being. Hydrate, stretch, and write one page in my journal. That's it. It wasn't about crushing the day. It was about grounding myself. Instead of a massive, overwhelming to-do list, I focused on completing just 1 to 3 meaningful tasks each day. This wasn't about being lazy, it was about creating sustainable progress. By building reliable systems, I took the pressure off my feelings. It no longer mattered if I felt like it. I just did it, because it was part of my system. And the funny thing is, action creates its own motivation. Once I started, the momentum would build naturally, coming from a place of accomplishment, not desperation. So, how did I shift from seeking external hype to cultivating internal drive? It came down to 3 key changes. First, I traded big, vague goals for small, actionable habits. Become a successful writer is paralyzing. Write for 15 minutes every day is achievable. Success isn't born from one giant leap of motivation. It's the result of thousands of small, consistent steps. Second, I redefined productivity. It's not about how much you do, but about whether you're doing what truly matters to you. Some of my most productive days now involve doing absolutely nothing related to work. They involve rest, play, and connection, because those things refuel my soul and give my work meaning. Rest isn't the enemy of progress. It's a vital part of it. Third, and most importantly, I reconnected with my why. I spent time defining my core values, things like creativity, freedom, and connection. Now, before I take on a new project, I don't ask, is this a good opportunity? I ask, does this align with my values? Does this feel like me? When your actions are aligned with your deepest why, you don't need someone to shout at you to get out of bed. Your purpose pulls you. If you're feeling stuck in that motivation trap, please know you're not alone and you don't need to hustle harder. You might just need to get quieter. Try this. Take a week off from all motivational content. No gurus, no hype videos, no hustle podcasts. Use that time to just be with yourself. Ask yourself some gentle questions. What did you love to do as a kid, before anyone told you what you should be? If you didn't have to worry about money or what other people thought, how would you spend your time? What makes you feel genuinely alive? The answers might not come right away, and that's okay. The goal isn't to find a new grand passion overnight. The goal is to start listening to that quiet voice inside you that you've been drowning out with all the noise. It's about building a relationship with yourself based on trust and self-compassion, not on shame and pressure. Your worth is not measured by your productivity. My journey away from the cult of motivation wasn't about giving up on my dreams. It was about making sure they were actually my dreams. Today, I achieve more than I ever did during my hustle phase, but it feels completely different It feels calm, intentional, and sustainable. The drive comes from within, from a place of genuine interest and purpose, not from a place of fear and inadequacy. I lost myself chasing motivation, but in the silence that followed, I found something so much better: myself. And that has been the greatest achievement of all. So, I invite you to step off the treadmill, stop chasing the fleeting high of motivation. Instead, turn inward, build systems, honor your energy, and get clear on your own, unique why. That is where true, lasting drive is found. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this story resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd hit that like button and subscribe for more conversations about building a life with intention. Let me know in the comments. What's your relationship with motivation like? I'd love to hear your story. Take care and be kind to yourself.